guys, I'm Sai, and welcome to Keeping It Real. Keeping It Real is our wrestling series here on A.C.E Podcast Nation. Of course, on this channel, A.C.E Podcast Nation, we do podcast interviews, content on all sorts of subjects. Wrestling, football, mental health, conspiracy theories, serial killers, TV, films, MMA and boxing, and a whole lot more. You can check us out in video format at youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation, and all the audio is available at the usual podcasting and radio apps: Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, the lot, every single one, always. And of course, give us a follow. Social media, facebook.com/AceCast Nation as we close in on the big 10,000, and Twitter at AceCast_Nation and Ace Podcast Nation on Instagram. Today we're talking the graps, talking the wrestling, and it seems like the appropriate person to talk to about those subjects would be Post Wrestling's writer, interviewer, the writer of the best wrestling updates in wrestling media.
It's fact.
Facts.
It's
Facts.
fact.
Can't dispute them.
I ain't
Also,
enough of being humble.
enough of being humble. That's right. Also got the best YouTube channel for wrestling interviews.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say that.
There it is. For wrestling interviews, there ain't no better. You go to youtube.com, Andrew Thompson interviews. You press subscribe, you click the bell, and then you get notified every single time he uploads a new interview, and they're always good. Always good. There is not one bad interview on that channel. So there, do it. How are you, my friend, Mr. Andrew Thompson, in the house?
I am doing well, sir. How are you? How are you doing? It feels like things are starting to open back up in the world.
Yes, it feels like it's edging
You
closer.
it's a lot of wrestling promotions out there that's starting to make plans for the summer. Man, we got a show next week for GCW, and they got another show on July 4th, and ICW New York's running a show on July 4th, and Black Label Pro's running a show in a couple weeks. So like it's starting to open back up, man. New Japan is back on Monday.
Oh yeah, thank God.
And they will have fans in July.
In July.
Yeah,
Okay.
in July they having fans for the they gonna run the whole New Japan Cup, and then for the finals and the next show, the following show, they're gonna have 1/3 capacity field in Osaka, Joe Hall. So and the fans will get to see Naito defend the heavyweight and Intercontinental title. Finally. I can't wait. New Japan is back.
So it's back. I think my biggest worry is just that we have a second wave of this pandemic where everything's opening up. But I'm really pleased for all the wrestling companies, all the local businesses who had to close down during this 12, 13 week period, because they're the ones who get hit hard. Big huge companies, they'll be all right, but those local businesses, the smaller companies, they're the ones who have struggled through. And ironically, in the wrestling business, it's those smaller companies who've actually been a bit treated their talent a bit better during this period, should we say? You look at what Ring of Honor has done. I think they've come out with a tremendous amount of credit. Same with Impact, I think, as well. Obviously, WWE laid off a load of people. Not really a good look, if you ask me, when you've got that much money coming in from TV deals and such. Obviously, AEW didn't need to lay anyone off. New Japan looked after their guys, which is good. It's good. Some big news this week, mate. Big news. Seems like we should start with Paul Heyman, no longer the Raw creative head of creative. That role will now be filled by Bruce Pritchard. He will do in Smackdown and Raw. Obviously, Vince felt that Smackdown was so good that He needed to draft in Pritchard, ASAP. Really, it was like he couldn't wait. He needed it straight away to fix the fall in ratings. Like the ratings have not been good on Raw for a good few weeks, but as we discussed just now off air, like this week's Raw wasn't great, but previous to that, I think the last 5 or 6 Raws have been very, very good.
Yeah, because they've been like wrestling based, and I think it just harkens back to the old ideology. WWE is an entertainment brand more so than a wrestling company, and I think Paul Heyman is more the fact of you can just let these people go out there and do what they do. Let them go out there and do what they're prepared to do, which is wrestle in the ring. And SmackDown is like more of a story based show. So we gonna see how it turn out. Because I think they taped. I think they probably tape again next week after Backlash. After Backlash airs, or something like this, some schedule they have. But it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting, man, to see how things turn out. And Paul Heyman is gonna be focusing on his, according to WWE.com, his in-ring role. So Paul Heyman coming out here giving Heyman bombs, getting back in the ring.
Do you think they'll put him with Riddle?
I mean, they did offer Kurt Angle the position, so maybe they.
So which makes me think they're not 100% sure that they are comfortable with his mic work if they're looking to give him someone. I saw a rumor that they were thinking of putting Riddle with Drew Gulak.
So they could reform
Catch Point.
Catch Point, yeah.
Well, then I got to thinking. I was thinking, have a Kurt Angle led stable of Drew Gulak, Matt
shooters,
and Chad Gable on SmackDown. That could be pretty. That could be quite entertaining.
No, it would be good. I might tweet that out.
Steal my ideas again. Shocking every week. But to be honest with you, I think, like, as much as I think that would be entertaining, and as much as I think Paul Heyman, like as Riddle's mouthpiece, could probably be quite entertaining and quite good as well. I actually think that just having Riddle come in and convincingly beat some top guys and be himself, that will get him over, because he's naturally likable. He's an exceptional in-ring talent, and I don't think they need to overcomplicate it. I just think that they can just let Matt Riddle, be Matt Riddle. That's what.
That's not gonna happen.
Well, no,
it ain't gonna happen.
That's what they should do.
Matt Riddle will not be just Matt Riddle that he was in NXT, but I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do. I wonder how long they're gonna keep doing the vignettes before they actually let him like show up on the show. Like I think they should just like throw him. This is some random feud. Like I just know this like 100% fact that the Baron Corbin feud is coming, because remember Corbin eliminated Riddle at Survivor Series. That's coming.
Yeah, that is happening. Say that he eliminated him from the Rumble. I don't have a problem with that if it's a one and done. If they have who's Corbin facing at Backlash? Has he got?
He's not on the card.
Oh, right, great. So if you have Corbin come out and cut a promo at the start of the pay-per-view, and he says, "Oh, it's disgraceful. I haven't got a match. Normal heel stuff. I'm great. I should be in the main event," and then have Riddle come out and knee him in the face, beat him in a minute. I'm happy with that for a debut, and then have Riddle move on to something else. If we have 8 weeks of Riddle versus Corbin, then I just think that doesn't help either guy. You need to keep. I just feel like I said last week to you, mate. The best thing I think they can do with Riddle is give him an undefeated streak, but keep count of it. And then if
you never said that. You never said that.
Yeah, I did. Don't start with this memory loss gimmick. Memory loss gimmick. I'm telling you. No, I think like, and then if they ever decide they want to do something with Goldberg in like a year or Survivor Series or Rumble or Mania, and you've got Riddle just he's been slowly just building up this undefeated streak, and he's like 20-0, and that's a good way to you can do the streak versus the Goldberg's career or whatever you want to do, but that's what I would do. Um, they filmed Edge and Randy Orton's greatest match of all time, apparently. Do you think this will be the greatest wrestling match of all time, Andrew?
Not a chance in hell. It ain't no way. There's no way, bro. I think it's gonna be a really good match. That's what I think. Really good. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be a lot of technical wrestling, a lot of selling, and I think that's what's gonna make it really good. You trying to put on the greatest? They did Edge and Orton dirty by putting that tagline on it and trying to force it to be something it's not, because they're immediately setting themselves up to get clowned on social media if the match isn't the greatest match that people have ever seen. But that shit is all subjective anyway. Like some people think Bret Hart and Owen Hart had one of the greatest matches ever. Some people think Kenny Omega and Okada have had the greatest match ever. Some people think fucking some of the greatest matches have taken place in all Japan. Some people think that like some people might throw it into the decade conversation. Like I think Gargano versus Almas at TakeOver Philly is like probably the best match of the decade. Probably. Like I think Omega and Okada at Dominion in 2018, one of the best matches of the decade. Like it's so many great like Naito and Okada at this year's Wrestle Kingdom. Ibushi and not Ibushi, Hiromu and Osprey and Shingo. Like it's too like I watched a tag match for Ice Ribbon the other day, the women's wrestling promotion in Japan, bro. It was the main event, like legit probably the best tag match that I've ever seen in this empty arena era of wrestling.
Okay.
Like I lied to you not. Like I highly recommend somebody go check that. It was the May 30th show. Probably the best tag match that I've seen like in the past couple months. Like it was really that good. Like they beat the shit out of each other. Like it was crazy. But yeah, but like it's all subjective. Like you can't really call something the greatest. I mean, some people might actually go the route of calling it the greatest match ever, which I think they just like lying to themselves. But yeah, we gonna see. We gonna see what it is.
It's subjective, but here's a hot take for you. It won't even be the best match on Backlash. So there you go.
I think the women's tag match is gonna be better than that.
Yeah, so we'll do our Backlash predictions at the end of the show. Was there anything else from Raw which particularly caught your eye? I saw something that they might be adding a guy to Seth Rollins' group, which I found quite interesting. I can't remember the name of the fella. He's a massive guy, and I just thought, well, if you're gonna add a massive guy to the group, why not bring back the other half of the Authors of Pain, the one who's not injured? I forget which way around they are, but they've got Austin Theory, they've got Buddy Murphy. If they want to bring in some some muscle,
A heavy.
yeah, why not bring in the one half? Which one's injured? Is it
Razar.
Mm.
I think they're in Canada. I think.
Okay.
I think. Let me see.
Okay, here's a question for you, Raw related. What would you do with Aleister Black next?
Have him like in some meaningful feud, honestly. Like he's like I feel like he is kind of in like a placeholder thing, like in this mix with Mysterio and Rollins. Yeah, it's like no true direct. Yeah, and yeah, they're in Canada. So
Okay.
but yeah.
I guess as well, like with Black, they've kind of like he's been like kind of mixed in with the Rollins and Mysterio stuff, and then he was kind of mixed in with the Andrade and that like his group. They but he hasn't had like an out and out feud for a while, which is just his. Um, I'd like to see him go for the Intercontinental title. I gotta be honest. I think that's the way, maybe, to build him up now, is to kind of push him into a title. The one thing they have done well with him is they've protected him.
Can you hear that background noise?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Let me close. That's my window. I got somebody doing cut some grass outside. Let me close that. Yo.
Yeah. I think like an Intercontinental feud would be quite good for Aleister Black. I think they've been quite good with him. They've like protected. They haven't had him. He hasn't lost by pin. I don't think he's lost at all directly. I think he's lost tag matches where his partner's been pinned. So I'd like to see them continue that, and then put him in a meaningful feud with someone. I wouldn't be against him feuding with Randy Orton and picking up a couple of big wins against Orton after Orton's done with Edge. But I just think if they want to do that, Vince would want Aleister Black to at least lose once to Orton. Like, they'd 50-50 it, and then maybe put Aleister Black over in like a tag match to give him the kind of the feud. But
am I tripping, or didn't him and Ricochet win the SmackDown tag titles at WrestleMania last year?
Who?
Or were they just in the match?
Aleister Black
And Ricochet.
I don't remember.
At last year's WrestleMania. You remember they were in that tag match, weren't they? The SmackDown tag team title match.
I'm gonna have to check that. I don't remember that. That is completely like blocked from my mind. But like I believe they have like Aleister Black hasn't been pinned, has he?
Last year's WrestleMania, not this year's WrestleMania.
Tag team title. Yeah, I don't like. Have I just blocked it out? Has Aleister Black lost directly?
Yeah.
He's been pinned, have he?
Yeah.
Just blocked it out. Yeah, it looks like they certainly were. They're lined up for it. Like I found a load of articles saying that.
Nah, go to the WrestleMania 35 Wikipedia page.
Was it 35?
Yeah, just go to the Wikipedia page and then go to the map.
I can remember. I can never remember what number WrestleMania is. Which? So there we go. What was it? Was it on the pre-show?
They just scroll all the way down, and they got the matches lined up.
Down the bottom, baby. So you had Tony Nese, Buddy Murphy, Carmella versus Sarah Logan, Kurt Hawkins, and Zack Ryder versus The Revival for the Raw Tag Team titles. Fatal 4-Way, The Usos versus Aleister Black and Ricochet.
Yep, that's what it was.
You were right. Good memory. So, see, your memory's not that bad after all. Just when it comes to my hot takes.
Your hat lies. That's what it is.
Yeah. Just make stuff up as I'm going along. But the Usos pinned the Bar to win that match.
Okay, yeah. I don't know why I thought they won it.
But I don't know why I thought Aleister Black had not been pinned.
Because he was on an undefeated streak for a while.
Yeah, I thought that.
And he finally lost.
I knew he'd lost. I knew he'd lost some matches and tag teams and stuff. So he lost to Tommaso Ciampa in NXT. I knew that. But I on Raw and SmackDown, I just didn't think he had been pinned.
No, I don't think he got beat on SmackDown. He lost on Raw though, but it was like a cheating tactic. It wasn't like he got beat straight up.
That's great. Like a beatdown or something, or a foreign object or whatever. Just like something. Yeah, I can't find anything. Anyway, right. We had obviously Bayley and Sasha won the tag team titles last Friday.
Yeah, man, and they're gonna be on NXT next week. Well, if they retain.
when they were champions initially, they were going to go to NXT and NXT UK, and they were going to go and defend the title. They wanted to make them special and different, and they wanted to go and have these kick-ass matches on all the brands to really, not just show what they can do, but cement the titles as special. Um, and I hope they do that now. I hope they go everywhere. I hope they go to NXT. Have they said who they're facing on NXT?
Yeah, I mean, if they retain on Sunday, that's if they can always flip flop the belts. But whoever is the tag team champions after Sunday, they're going to be facing Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, there's a couple of like you could do them. You can do Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota
Dakota.
Kai.
Yep.
Um, so I think there's some good, you can get some good matches out of NXT there for the women's tag team titles. I'd also like to see when the flights are open up again. Um, I'd like to see them take it to NXT UK. I think that could be a good way to get a bit of buzz into NXT UK because, obviously it's been off TV for so long.
But I honestly forgot that show was a.
And that's it. But it's actually the funny thing with that show is whenever I watch it, I always enjoy it. It's always really good.
Yeah, it's not a bad show.
Takeovers are really good. I just struggled. It's just too much wrestling. Um, However, whenever I watch it, I find it really enjoyable. And I think if they want to get like people watching it, have announce ahead of time that Sasha and Bailey are going there, do a live TV for the first show back, make it a live special, and have Sasha and Bailey, you know, go up so there's no spoilers. And I think that could make people watch, particularly in the UK. It's on live. I think it's on BT Sport. I think NXT UK.
Yeah, it's on
So
BT Sport.
yeah, so they could do that. They could do something special with that first show. I would make the first TV show back. I would make a live 2 hour special if I was them. Um, because I think that could create a little bit of buzz. You could have Sasha and Bailey come over. You could have Pete Dunne on the show because obviously he's been stuck in the UK, not being able to work with. It's also on Channel 5 as well in the UK, which is similar to ITV.
Mm.
So it's like everyone gets it basically. But I don't think it's on live. I think it's on like a day after or something. But do you know what I mean? Like I would get some guys and girls on there which are big names that maybe will attract a bit of buzz, and I would do a live edition, first episode back if I was them. Get people interested in it again because what you got to remember is when everything's starting back up now is all wrestling starting back up, and people can't watch everything, so you need something to bring people to your product. Whether you're New Japan, you're AEW, you're NXT, you're Raw, SmackDown, Impact, Ring of Honor, and people will check out this stuff like Ring of Honor and New Japan and Impact to a less degree because they haven't seen it for so long. Whereas Raw and SmackDown and AEW and NXT, they've been on throughout. So I'm interested in Ring of Honor because I want to see how Marty Scurll's doing and what sort of impact is he having on their storylines. And when do you know when their next supercard is, or their pay-per-view, pay-per-view or whatever?
Who, Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor, yeah.
No, they haven't announced anything.
Nothing announced, is it?
No, it was reported in the Observer earlier today that they were considering running some empty arena shows. So we're gonna see how that turns out. Because I mean, I feel like it's starting to get to the point where promotions are just like like whatever, might as well give it a shot and try something. Because I mean, like you can't just keep sitting on the sidelines forever. Like when you see, like I think when some of these companies, when they see independent promotions starting to boot back up, it's like, all right, like maybe we could do some empty arenas to just make sure you test people properly.
Sure. Which one? Which of the kind of main 5 or 6 companies in North America do you think, or not North America, but like New Japan, Ring of Honor, Impact, Raw, SmackDown, or WWE, AEW. Which one of them will be the first to do a completely cinematic show during the TV, like the empty arena era?
Hmm?
So I think that maybe a Ring of Honor, maybe, or maybe possibly even like an AEW Dark or something like this, just to switch it up. Because the problem with the empty arena matches is they feel very, very the same every week, and I think that's the most difficult thing. So I just think it won't be long before a company, whoever, does like their TV show of an hour or 2 hours, and it be like a completely kind of cinematic experience, like kind of like what Lucha Underground used to be, but maybe a little bit less wacky. I could see Impact doing it. They've always been quite creative. Um, so instead of just having a cinematic match, like the whole product be for that 2 hours, completely cinematic. What do you think about that?
Trash idea.
Trash!
Trash idea.
Goddamn shite!
Just like when I told you Goldberg was gonna win the Universal title, you ain't believe me.
I believed you. I just said it was a goddamn trash idea. But no, I just think I do wonder if a company will try it as an experiment, just to switch it up a bit and change it. Maybe Impact, I think, would be able to pull that off. Um, so moving on swiftly, I would like to discuss NXT this week because I found it quite the show. I found it. I wouldn't say it was like an amazing, incredible, must-watch show, but I felt like there was some real interesting stuff. They moved stuff along after In Your House. Um, you kind of started off with the Mia Yim, Keith Lee, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae stuff, which that's carried on obviously. But they also teased Keith Lee versus Adam Cole,
Baby.
baby, indeed, which was interesting. Um, I don't think they're going to do that anytime soon, though, unless they just do it as a TV match. I don't think they're going to be doing it as a feud.
No,
Because I think,
I think it's gonna happen at the November takeover, and Keith Lee gonna beat him.
yeah,
I think Keith Lee's gonna lose the North American title to Balor at this whenever they do the SummerSlam takeover, whichever that time period it happens, and then Keith Lee's gonna over time they're gonna build him up to the heavyweight division, and then um have him win the title from Adam Cole, and then I don't think it's gonna be too long after that to when they're gonna put the title on Karrion Kross. I think they just teasing it right now. And like they probably will have Undisputed Era probably jump in, but I don't they had shot a title on them now. I don't see no issue with that. Like that's gonna immediately make him a superstar. But like it's like, I mean, well, honestly, I'm really having a problem with it. Honestly,
yeah. I think my only, I think I said last week. I think they'll Karrion Cross will be the one to take the
no, you
title
didn't.
off Adam Cole, and your memory loss gimmick now is this. It's got to go. But I think Killer Cross. I can't call him Karrion Cross. I refuse to. Stupid. Killer Cross. Um, he is going to take the title off Adam Cole, in my opinion. But what would be interesting is if they keep building Killer Cross up like they did against Champa, in that he's like, like that kind of invincible Brock Lesnar-y, fiendy, just throw guys around type stuff. What would be interesting is if Keith Lee was the one who took the title off Adam Cole, and then Cross arose as the challenger after destroying everybody else, and he did very similar to Keith Lee in a title match. That would like fully cement Killer Cross as like this unbeatable monster. And I'm not saying he should squash Keith Lee, but like they finally have the face to face at the match, and everyone thinks that like Keith Lee's the one, he can't do it to Keith Lee, and then he does. I think that could be quite an interesting story to tell. And then Keith Lee having to come back and not necessarily be like the baby face in peril, but Keith Lee chasing after taking the most dominant loss of his career, I think could be quite an interesting story to tell. You could maybe give him a little bit of a crisis of confidence because he's never been manhandled like that, and then you could tell a good story there. Um, I also wouldn't be surprised to see Keith Lee on the main roster because they clearly like him, and I wouldn't be surprised at all because he's big.
Keith Lee's the man, bro.
Oh yeah,
Like, regardless of his size, Keith Lee's the man, bro. Like, I think wherever he goes, he's going to be extremely successful. Whether it's the main roster or, well, I mean, all of it's kind of the main roster, but like, if he goes to Raw, SmackDown, or he stays in the NXT, I think he's gonna be just fine exactly where he's at. Like, I still think there's an NXT title run in there for him, but like, it's kind of like on the like at the point where Karrion Kross is like really starting to blow up. So, no, we gonna see which way they go.
Yeah, I just what I like the most about Keith Lee is he's got a unique look, but for someone his size, he does just some unbelievable stuff. He's a really, really good worker. But what I like the most is every single interview I've seen of him out of character, or every video I've ever seen of him out of character, he just seems like a genuinely nice human being. He just seems like a good dude. Um, and the world needs more good dudes, as far as I'm concerned. Um, he just seems like quite a sensible, just nice person, and
You wanna know who not nice?
what the
You wanna know
world
who not
needs, my
nice?
friend.
Sigh.
Yeah, he's a bad man. He's a bad, bad man.
With
So
with with bad ideas,
bad
bad
ideas,
ideas.
bad ideas, bad takes, bad speculation, bad memory, bad reporting, and now got bad hair.
Nah, yeah,
Feel sorry for me.
hey, could look nice,
Lost
man.
my
You
locks.
did good right there.
Going bold. I missed my
You donated to charity, right?
yeah, man.
That's cool.
I did hair to charity, and I raised. I think it was about £712 in for mental health charity as well.
Good on you for that. That's big. That's big
Yeah, man,
right there.
it's cool. It's good cause, isn't it? Like, like I'm not gonna lie, I was not like upset, but I've grown my hair out for like 2 years, and I really liked it. It wasn't like I was getting it cut because I wanted to have it cut. I told my son, you tell me when you want me to donate it, and I will donate it because I did it because he wanted to do it, and it's some of his friends made fun of him for looking like a girl, so he had it cut off, and it wasn't long enough to donate. So because it was his idea to donate, he wanted to donate his hair because he knew someone in his class who'd had cancer. So yeah, so the thing which kind of made me not too upset about having to cut all my hair off was the fact that it'll go to make someone like a child, most likely, who's lost their hair through cancer treatment and is feeling really self-conscious and sad. They get to, have a wig made and make them feel good, and that's good enough for me.
No, that's big right there. Well, much love to you for doing that, man. That's how you help folks out right there.
And that's what the world needs: people who are gonna look out for each other, mate.
We also need more Goldbergs beating the Fiend. That's what we need.
Get fucked. And on the we had some other interesting parts of NXT. Uh, El Hijo del Fantasma
Santos
is
Escobar.
no more.
Let's go. That was the
So
best angle of the show. Best
so
angle of the show.
they did like you had Drake Maverick came out, newly signed Drake Maverick came out, And he said to Phantasma, great match, typical babyface, proper babyface promo, great match. I'd love to have a rematch and have a go at the title. That title means something. Blah blah blah. Then you have the two masked figures came out. They're back to back, gonna fight back to back against these two bad guys in masks. And then you just see Phantasma turn, so he's facing Drake Maverick's back, and he kind of, they all jump down and beat him down, and he takes his mask off, then they take his mask off. He announces his name as was it Santos Escobar?
Yeah,
Um,
Santos Escobar.
and that's, I gotta say, I think that's a real cool name as well.
It definitely is.
It's a
Definitely
badass name.
is.
Um, I think as well that angle, if that had fans, would have been so good.
Oh yeah.
Like when he turned, as they were back to back, the crowd would have just popped big. Do you
I
think
kind I
it'll
kind of
just
like
be
that. I
go on?
kind of like that it was that they kind of, I mean, like when Raul Mendoza that Woken and Wild got kidnapped, I kind of figured like they were probably gonna be, the mask guys, and you kind of
Yeah,
tell when they came out in the week prior and they tried to interfere in the match, like just the body type and the size, like you kind of tell it was them. But like it was cool to see them out there, and it actually gets something like Raul Mendoza been in NXT since like 2016, bro. Like he
got a story.
finally, yeah.
He's
like,
finally got a
like,
proper story,
bro, imagine being somewhere for 4 years, bro, and like you're like literally stuck in the same spot, and then you finally have something to like actually do. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think it'll just be those three together, or do you think they'll be? Because didn't they kidnap someone else too?
No, it was just Raul. They kidnapped Phantasma, but it was like, just to
Yeah, yeah.
take the attention. Like
So
it
you
could
know when
happen to them too.
they kidnapped Joaquin,
Mm,
he's DJZ, isn't he?
mm-hmm.
Originally, yeah. But who kidnapped him? Because there was two people kidnapping him.
Uh,
So I'm assuming one of them was Raul Mendoza. I suppose the other one could have been Phantasma, I suppose.
yeah, but the only weird thing about it was when Phantasma got kidnapped, he got kidnapped by two dudes. I mean, when Mendoza got kidnapped, he got kidnapped by two dudes. So I mean, maybe it's just like just random henchmen. Like
Yeah,
that's not necessarily like wrestlers. It's just like people within the quote unquote organization. So, I think they should just focus on Mendoza
those three.
and focus on them three, and then as time goes on, then you can start adding in new people.
Exactly.
But man, the what's the name, the Latino diversity like in WWE right now is crazy.
Yeah, it's
Like you got
insane, mate.
Andrade, but Angel Garza, but doing big things, and you got
Yeah, I
Zelina Vega
would.
with them. It's like it's a lot of diversity right now in WWE for the most part.
Yeah, and if they could use the guys properly, that could really change the way their roster looks. But they just so often pull the rug out from their talents when they start getting over, or people start getting behind them, or they start to impress, and they just give up on them. Like more so on Raw and SmackDown. But I feel like this is a real chance. Like overall, they've got some crazy, crazy good Latina talents at the moment, and I just think that they could really push on with it if they do it properly. I wouldn't be against bringing in one more guy and having that guy and Raul Mendoza work as a tag team, as part of the stable. And I'd like to see, sorry, when if Phantasma does drop that title, is have DJZ go after that title, the cruiserweight title, and have Phantasma really go up the card for a North American shot, or even an NXT shot eventually, or even have Joaquin go after the North American title as a
Who the hell is
singles shot.
Joaquin?
Joaquin,
Wo
that's
Quinn.
his name. What is his name?
Wo
Woquim.
Quinn. Wo Quinn. Quinn.
Is that his name really?
Is Wo Quinn wild?
I'm pretty sure it's Joaquin, like Joaquin Phoenix.
You just making up shit.
Joaquin. Whacking up shit. Um, so yeah, yeah. So, um, yeah, NXT was alright. It was pretty good. Were you surprised to see Adam Cole beat Dexter Lumis?
No, not at all. Because I think Dexter Loomis is a definitely main event player, but I don't think it's the right time to have him beat Adam Cole. Like it's just not the right time. But I definitely think he's gonna. No, he's definitely gonna be in that main event scene. I honestly think he's gonna replace Velveteen Dream, like as far as that type of character in NXT, or
You've been
maybe him
saying
and
they're gonna
Dream.
write him off for weeks.
Hey, maybe him and Dream win the tag titles. You never know.
Maybe. You've been telling me that they're gonna write off Velveteen Dream for weeks, and they have not written him off yet.
That was a prediction, sir. I don't.
Yeah, that was.
I,
You told
I,
me that was facts, 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 facts.
listen.
And
I don't make up lies
no, no,
like some
yeah,
people on this podcast.
yeah. Well, I'm not sure about that. You couldn't remember even if I did. So the only thing I guess I was surprised is I thought that it was going to end in disqualification. Basically, I thought they might not beat Loomis just because he's been getting over. Um, his gimmicks getting like people seem to really like it. It's difficult to tell, obviously, with no fans, but it does seem on social media at least like the character's getting over. I feel like his character work has been really strong, so I was surprised that they beat him. After the match, Adam Cole kind of mocked him, and he got snatched up and choked. Um, and the Undisputed Era made the save, and then Velveteen Dream ran him off. The lights went out, and Scarlett Bordeaux come to the ring, and she put an hourglass in the ring and turned it over. And then slowly it counted down as Karrion Kross's graphic showed on the big screen. She leaves as Adam Cole hugged his title. Um, when do you think they're going to do the Killer Cross Adam Cole match? Do you think it's going to be like soon, very soon, or
They
maybe?
might do it the counter product Fighter Fest.
Yeah. The problem, well, I suppose it's not a problem, but I mean, they're gonna when they do face each other, there's no way that Karrion Kross is losing. I gotta say.
You sure about that? Oh
Yeah,
no,
there's
no, I think you said Adam Cole.
no. I said there's no way. Like Killer Cross will definitely win, or Killer Cross won't lose, should I say? They may, uh, depending on what event it is. If it's like a TV match, they may, have the Undisputed Era get Adam Cole disqualified, or some stuff to prolong it a bit longer. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Killer Cross give him the Champa treatment. To be honest, I think that they're so high up on Killer Cross that I just kind of expecting him to just run through everyone until they find the right person to.
Well, he's too big. Like he's like already a star. The entrance made him, and and on top of that, he has the size and the physical, like just tools. It's impossible not to see him as one of those
Superstar.
top guys. So I mean, if you gonna do it. Like don't BS around it. Like don't
Do
do
you
the
think
Lord
though?
3 second. Like I mean, not 3 second, but like trying to delay it
Yeah,
and wait till it die down. Like if you gonna do it, do it.
do it. Yeah. Do you think that they might? Do you think they would give Adam Cole the same treatment they gave Champa, or do you think they would protect Adam Cole a bit more just because they're so high up on him?
I mean, well, Adam Cole has the undisputed era to chime in, so he doesn't really need like the creative protection. You can always say the undisputed era tried their best, but I said Killian Cross. Carrying Cross is just too physical of a specimen to be contained by 3 or 2 men. So and Roddy is out of his damn mind right now. So you can't. They got him hallucinating on TV. Dexter Loomis got him spooked. So like he can't even focus on what's going on right now. So it's basically Bobby Fish.
But Roderick Strong on NXT has really shown that he can be funny and like really entertaining outside of the ring. Like when he came into NXT and WWE, I feel like he had a reputation of being exceptional in the ring, but maybe didn't have the charisma to be a top guy. And I just think that he's shown like that he can cut a promo, he can be quite funny. I feel like he's added some strings to his bow since he came from Ring of Honor and has come to WWE. But it's just my opinion. Um, yes, will we see Undisputed Era on Raw or SmackDown?
No, I
Will
think they stay in
the
NXT. I think they stay in NXT, especially with everything going on with WWE's Raw and SmackDown career. I doubt it. I doubt it,
Mm,
especially now. So I definitely think they're gonna stay in NXT. I don't see no reason for them to go on Raw or SmackDown right now. It's like, yeah, you can always have fresh matchups, and then those fresh matchups will be run through in a couple months. So
JD asks, um, do 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 we think that Adam Cole will go to AEW when his contract is up?
when is his contract supposed to be up?
It's quite. I think I don't know if it's
I think that's
soon.
a lie. I saw some people like putting that out there, and I think that's a lie. I don't think his contract is coming up
I
anytime
don't
soon.
think it's anytime soon. I think it's probably like it might be like early 2021, possibly. But let's have a look. SES scoops. Are they
And
Are they reliable?
let's just skip past this to me avoid having to say which site is credible and
All right.
yeah, just skip
Um,
past this conversation,
well,
please.
all right. Here you go. Sports Kida, who I know are pretty reliable because I know some of the people who work there. They say that Adam Cole has reportedly signed a new multi-year contract with WWE. So there you go. That puts that to bed. But in answer to JD's question, I don't think I don't think he'll go to AEW. And here's a hot take for you: Britt Baker will be the first superstar to jump ship from one side to the other.
And that is when this podcast ends, ladies and gentlemen. Signing off. Hope you
Signing
enjoyed it.
off.
I highly doubt that. Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it.
Yeah, maybe. You just don't know, do you?
She's a dentist.
She's a what?
She's a dentist.
She is a dentist. I only found that out yesterday.
No, but I'm saying like why will she go to WWE schedule when she could just
Yeah,
continue like having the great schedule that she has with AEW? Like Chris Statlander is a massage therapist on the side, and she can do that and wrestle. So I know like if I was a wrestler and I had another job that I could keep making money off of, definitely going to AEW just because of the schedule and like you can have time to do other things.
yeah. Mm, yeah, I guess so. I just
You just don't want to be wrong, so I admit it. Admit it.
I rarely am, to be fair.
And
I very rarely, you know, and even when I'm wrong, I'm not really normally wrong. I just say it to make people, you know, just be happy. I don't want to upset them. Okay, let's finish off. We'll talk a bit of AEW and then we'll do the.
I didn't get to watch AEW yet
All
because
right,
I like I switch back once every week.
yeah.
Yeah, and then like I try to catch up on but I didn't get it. I was gonna watch AEW AEW earlier, but I watched the challenge on MTV.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I gotta say, I thought FTR made the Butcher and the Blade look like a real solid team. Like I've talked to you about, I really haven't been that impressed with the Butcher and the Blade. I like their gimmick. I just haven't been impressed with their ring work. And this FTR match I thought was very good. Jericho was on commentary, excellent as you'd expect. FTR look every bit the world class tag team that they are. They just look, to me, they just remind me of their NXT work, just how good they are. Um, and I'm real excited. They again teased the Young Bucks interrupted them, and they came out to congratulate FTR, and they kind of teased a bit, and then the Butcher and the Blade attacked, and they had like a little scuffle, but they're gonna draw that out, and rightly so. rightly so. They shouldn't just jump straight into it. It's going to be big. If I was doing it, I would wait until the fans are there for that match. I gotta say, I would
Yeah.
drag it out. I would drag it out that long because there's loads of tag teams there, top tag teams that you can, you can have them beat or face the same teams. Like you could have them, you know, you could have FTR face the best friends, and then the Young Bucks face them the week after and try and one up each other. There's plenty of ways you could drag it out. I also want to see FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. I think that would be incredible.
Yeah. So just wanted to mention Mr. Drake was out of himself this week, so there's another one on the list. I'm pretty sure you did. You see what happened?
I didn't know.
Oh, he's a big, big Trumpy, big.
No.
I'm talking about massive. Like he quote tweeted Jackson Riker's tweet and fully supported him, and then like he liked a bunch of So Drake outed himself. So there's another one bites the dust, man. Keep outing themselves. And hey, I'm gonna talk about. Did you see the AJ Styles stuff yesterday?
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
Where have you been at?
I've been ill for the last couple of days. So
You serious? Oh, you
struggling,
good?
man.
You
Yeah,
okay?
my Crohn's is bad, so I just been struggling. Like
I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I ain't know that.
it is what it is.
Are you feeling well though? Are you feeling better now? Are you like just
Better than I have been, but luckily I've got friends like you who just cheer me up by calling me a liar for a
okay? That was a good
So
one. I'm
what
gonna give
did
you
AJ
credit.
Styles do? What did
Oh,
AJ
but
Styles do?
no, but so you remember when last week's backstage when CM Punk gave his speech about like how white voices need to start speaking up about like the injustices in America, like as far as racial stuff goes. So a couple of days after that, CM Punk was just tweeting about how like people stand silent doing everything that's going on and kind of trying to ignore everything, and it kind of says a lot about those people. So some guy commented under Punk's tweet and mentioned AJ and how AJ was like promoting his video game stream, but like not saying anything about any like racial injustices or anything that's going on right now. And Punk had responded. He was like, "Well, everybody knows what basically saying that everybody knows what AJ like how he is, so that's not surprising." And AJ did an interview with the Times of India yesterday, and the reporter asked him, what do you think about Punk calling you out about not speaking out about the Black Lives Matter movement? And AJ didn't say a goddamn thing about the Black Lives Matter movement. He like ignored that, but he made sure to say that he didn't respect CM Punk at all. And he said he's not going to respond to somebody he doesn't respect. And then a lot of people hopped on his ass yesterday because he like completely ignored the other part of the question as far as like the Black Lives Matter. And I mean, like we all kind of, I mean, everybody kind of know how AJ Styles. Like this, you got this country dude from the backwoods of Georgia. Like, come on now. Like you really think like it's no way. But I mean, but like the thing is like it would have been proper or at least not stupid on his part to at least address the situation and say something instead of just completely ignoring it, because then you really outing yourself. But I mean, I don't really think he was outing us. I think everybody knows what AJ Styles' thoughts are. So like it's just ridiculous to me that Randy Orton, who was dropping the N-word a couple months ago, sent out a Black Lives Matter tweet, but AJ Styles is like completely ignoring it. But I mean, listen, I don't know why people like, you shouldn't be surprised at AJ Styles. Like again, it's just a dude from the backwoods of Georgia. Georgia is racist as hell. They had a KKK rally in Georgia the other day. Like, like I'm telling you, in Rome, Georgia, like at a KKK rally in Rome, Georgia. Like, nobody should be surprised. But I mean, hopefully Daniel Bryan wins any kind of the title tonight, so we all go home happy.
Like, I mean, separate to AJ Styles completely, because like you say, like everyone kind of knows that AJ.
Yeah,
Trump guy. But like, what I would
surprised.
say is some wrestlers, celebrities, people, whatever it may be, some of them don't like to talk about politics, whatever the subject. because they don't want to mix it with
Real quick.
the
So
celebrity thing. I'm not
like,
saying whether that's right or
no,
wrong,
no, 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 no.
but
Just listen, real quick. Look, the Black Lives. I need people to understand this. Black Lives Matter is not politics. That's not what it
indeed,
is.
yep,
It is. There's nothing to do. Like when people use that as a cop out, it has nothing to do with politics. People just want to use that to ignore what's going on at hand because they don't want to talk about it. That's all that is. It's like nothing, absolutely nothing to do with politics. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I agree with you, mate. I'm just kind of
Ooh,
more saying like,
cut out. Stream
yeah,
cut out.
I said I agree with you, bro. I agree with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the stream cut out.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%, mate. I just it pisses me off, mate. That like you're telling me that there was a KKK rally in Georgia.
Yeah, Xavier Woods tweeted
20,
about it. He said
20 fucking 20,
Xavier
and
Woods said
we're having
it was like 20.
KKK rallies.
He said it was like an hour from his house.
Jesus
So
Christ.
yeah. Then
Honest.
they were like out chanting like white power and stuff like that. And with and the crazy thing was the police they like were like barricading them. Like they didn't react, no rubber bullets, no nothing. And then the crazy thing was it was people in the comments like, well, they're being peaceful. Like y'all are ridiculous, man. Like it's kind of it's like comical at this point, honestly. It's like kind of
It infuriates me, mate. That it's 2020 and we're dealing with this shit. Um, it drives me insane. Because I just think, like, what? How will we still having to deal with this crap? Like, why?
you gotta get
Just don't get it. And
you gotta get that older generation the fuck out of here. That's the first step. They got to go. Not everybody, but just the ones who are like deeply rooted in racism because they know the system is designed for them to succeed, and they're I think they're starting to realize that it's starting to change, especially when you got these young white men and women out here that's literally tearing down a system that's meant for them to succeed, and I think that just infuriates the racists. So it's gonna happen eventually. They're gonna get booted out of here. But just as far as CM Punk, do you think CM Punk responds on backstage like in a smart ass way to AJ
yeah,
Styles? I definitely
fully.
think, yeah.
That what? Do you know what though? Right, like from a purely wrestling point of view, if CM Punk ever does come back, I'd be well on board for a AJ versus CM Punk feud.
No,
Um,
but they don't like each other.
do they really
No, no,
genuinely not like each other?
he was serious. AJ was dead ass.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they don't like each other. But
See, I didn't know that.
that Daniel Bryan threw a little shot at AJ
Mm.
on the Smackdown taping the other week. He's like, like him and AJ got different world views, and I think everybody knows what that means. So yeah, you would like the crazy thing, like AJ could easily just denounce racism. It's not that hard to come out
Yeah,
and say that you don't condone racism.
yeah.
Like I don't think it's
That's
anything
not like outrageous
that
for him. He's not
e-
gonna
e-
like upset his family or something. Do you know what I mean?
even with his beliefs, you can support who you want to support and denounce racism. But the fact that he's like completely ignoring it just lets me know that he's probably racist.
Well, it's
Probably.
like we said the other week, mate. The cracks are showing for people
Yeah,
like
oh,
him.
definitely. Definitely. Well, no, let me take that back. I'm not going to outright call somebody. I don't think that's fair, but I do think
Yeah,
his views are like he's like a very clouded individual. Like I know doing the After the Bill podcast, Randy was clowning AJ. He said everybody always clowning him about it because he always says the Earth is flat. Like the locker room always giving him crap about it. So yeah, that should just let you know. AJ Styles is a redneck individual from the backwoods of Georgia. Do not be surprised at any of his views. He is a great wrestler, honestly, one of the best of all time. But the dude is like an idiot, and I'm slowly starting to realize this. He is like I'm gonna just leave it alone. But yeah,
yeah. I know what you
that's
mean.
it.
Right. Okay. So just finishing off, we saw Orange Cassidy. He gigged as they go after being hit in the head with a baseball bat, which was that was quite a good angle. I didn't really get the after. So Jericho come out and he hit him with a baseball bat in the head, and he gigged and he bled, and then literally they got a big bag, like carry a bag of oranges, and then hit uh, Orange Cassidy in the head with the oranges after he'd been hit with the baseball bat, and the commentators were like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And they reacted more to the oranges than they did when he hit him in the head with the baseball bat, and I was just like, "Come on, that is the sort of thing which annoys me more than some of the usual stuff which people criticize AEW for, if that makes sense. Like, he was just stupid. Um, but yeah. Okay. What? Anything else was there? AEW interesting. TNT match between Mark Quinn and Cody. I thought was okay. They weren't. They made a few errors, and it wasn't nowhere near the Jungle Boy match from the week before. It was okay, but it was okay. It was
Yeah,
decent.
Cody versus Hager at Fighter Fest.
That'd be good. 100%.
No, no, that's official.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I thought it was just a rumor. Um, when do we see the Fiend next, mate?
after Backlash.
At Backlash or after?
After once they get into the Extreme Rules season.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay, let's get the Backlash card up to finish off with some predictions. Was there any other stories, mate, which kind of caught your eye this week, which we haven't covered? Touched upon?
Let me see.
Anything from your update?
Yeah, I was just about to go to that. Oh yeah, Tama Tonga verbally agreed to join WWE in 2016. Yeah.
Well,
What do you think about that? He almost went, and then New Japan was like, he had been trying to get Tangaloa in New Japan for the longest,
yeah, that's right. I
but
remember.
they was like no, because it was too crowded at the time and they didn't have the space for him. And you know, once Tama let him know that he was about to leave, and he went to the Performance Center and met with Triple H and gave him the word that he was going to join. And then once he let New Japan know, they was like, bring your brother in, new contract, bring your brother in. And then Tama couldn't refuse it. So that's what that was. And ICW New York, they had a falling out with Chris Dickinson, independent wrestler Chris Dickinson, which was interesting because they already had some issues early on in the year. Because Chris Dickinson was supposed to work. Well, he was supposed to work Josh Barnett's blood sport event during WrestleMania week. He was supposed to wrestle Minoru Suzuki, and he had a show for ICW later on that night, but Josh Barnett pulled Dickinson from the show because he wanted Dickinson to actually sell the effects from his show before he went and did another death match. Before he went and did a death match. And I didn't understand that. Like, it's like kind of stopping Chris Dickinson's grind from getting his money, but like because he wanted them to like sell, the sell the beating from Minoru Suzuki, I guess, and like that was kind of weird as shit, because I'm pretty sure Minoru probably didn't give a damn what Chris Dickinson was going to do after that, which was that whole situation was weird, but some other stuff. Stephanie McMahon did an interview with CMO Moves, and she said that a TV network, wanted to buy the rights to WWE's video on demand content, which is now the WWE Network. They wanted the rights to it for 10 years. So a TV network would have had the everything that's probably on the network or in like any of WWE's video demand content for 10 years, but they weren't interested in that, so they went ahead and created the WWE Network, and that's how that happened. So, and I don't know if you know, but it's a wrestler named Sierra Loxton. She lives in the United Kingdom. I don't know if you ever heard her.
Say again.
Sierra Loxton, Loxton.
No, don't
Yeah, she had a career in the injury a few weeks. No, she had it last summer, and she officially announced her retirement. And in late May, she took a it was a match happened last summer for Pro Wrestling Eve. She took a one-winged angel, and her she fractured 2 bones in her back. Yeah, she had to retire Yeah, she was on Flash Morgan. She was on Flash Morgan Webster's podcast, and she told her, she told the whole story about how that happened. Like you want to know what's like the craziest thing about it? She said that she never took moves like that. Like she never did big high risk moves. But it wasn't until people started telling her that she didn't bump enough and she didn't take big bumps enough. So she felt like she needed to take the one wing angel in order to prove to people. That's a direct quote from her.
Yeah.
She felt like she needed to take the move in order to prove to people that she could take big bumps, and that big bump cost her career, which is like really fucked up. Like the fact that people pressure her into taking these big moves
Sucks,
when
man.
she didn't want to take big moves, and then now her career in wrestling is over. So that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's messed up, man. Because like you
They
think back,
peer pressured her, bro.
well, think back to Brock Lesnar got peer pressured into doing that shooting star press against
Mm-hmm.
Kurt Angle, and like if
Almost
he,
broke his damn neck.
yeah, I'm surprised he didn't break his neck. Imagine he'd broken his neck, no UFC career, no NFL tryout.
Probably
Like,
no WWE again.
yeah, it
And
sucks, mate. And like for her, like she's been working towards this career, and now like uh, whatever age she is, she's got to completely switch it up and change because some people, some idiots, really just told her that she wasn't working to how they think
she should
she
be,
should
yeah.
work. Yeah, mind your own fucking business.
And now she's essentially out of a career. And she said the
Yeah.
doctor told her straight up that she can't. Like it's done. Like she can't. It's done. Like he said, like even if things heal, like the chances are like extremely slim. And like that's her spine, bro. Like so it's like you can't take no chances with that.
Take it from someone who's had spinal fusion and still walks with a walking stick after a
Hmm.
car accident in 2008. So what's that? 12 years ago. And I was in a wheelchair for just under 3 years.
Damn.
No, more than that, 5 years really. Like not all the time. I had to use it now and again. I was on crutches, and then I'd use a wheelchair if I had to go somewhere, like where I had to walk far or whatever.
Right.
And take it from someone who's like I'm still in a lot of pain from that now, and like I walk with a walking stick now, and I take a lot of painkillers just to get up and get through the day.
Mm.
Like spinal injuries, nothing to joke about, man. And I just think like I got so much respect for guys like Edge and Champa and people who've somehow been able to come back for them serious neck injuries and back injuries because they're just so you're talking like one bad landing and
And
you're
it's over, bro.
paralyzed
Yeah.
forever. And that's for everyone. Let's not forget, like that's for everyone. Even without having any pre-existing problem, like like what Edge has got now or something. Like anyone lands funny, you could be game over. Like I'll never understand how Brock didn't break his neck in that shooting star press. Never. Um, and like I really feel for her, real bad. Like I Mm, sucks.
Yes. It
I hope
sucks, bro.
she can. I hope if she's able to, I'm hoping that she'll be able to get like a career, maybe as an agent or work backstage or as a commentator or a ring announcer.
Mm.
If she wants to stay in the business, I hope that the companies which she works for or was working for, I'd like to think that they'll try and help her transition to a backstage role. Um,
Definitely.
but obviously you don't know, especially with the world the way it is at the moment. Maybe the opportunities aren't there, but yeah, that sucks.
I
Sucks
definitely agree
big
with
time.
you, man. Big respect to you for willing to open up about what you've been through. I'm pretty sure that's not nothing easy to speak about at all. But just a couple more news items. Yeah, Rob Gronkowski did an interview with People.com before he dropped the 24/7 title. This interview was taped before he dropped the 24/7 title. He said he was ready to drop that shit anyway. So so that should let you know everything you need to know. And Eric Rowan did a Biggie Earls podcast, and WWE, they sent him his release papers and they spelled Eric wrong. So he's going to continue using ERICK, which I'm sure is great for him business wise because he can just continue getting all those clicks. People
Yeah,
can
man.
keep continue to say
What's his real name? Do you know?
Joseph.
What's his surname?
Rude.
Okay, so his name's not Rowan, is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah,
By the way, he's a super talented dude, and if he goes to New Japan, I think he could be real big there, because he's really innovative in the ring. Innovative in the ring. Um, he switches it up a lot. He doesn't just rely on the same spots over and over again. Like he's really quite clever in the ring, and I feel like he's one where if you give him a chance to, because like you had Bray Wyatt who was so good on the mic, and then you had Luke Harper was the workhorse, and they kind of never really gave Eric Rowan a chance to. Like I know they gave him singles pushes and at different times, like to a certain extent, but they never gave him like a chance to work like a 15-minute match and really show what he could do in the ring. And I do think he's very underrated, and I think New Japan or maybe even an NWA would be a real good fit for him.
hmm And just lastly, before we get into the backlash predictions, yeah, Chris Statlander was on the AEW Unrestricted podcast, and she said that she's waiting on approval from Kenny Omega to use her 450 splash that she calls the Area 451, which I think is cool as hell. That's a cool last name, Area
Yeah,
4, because
it's
you know the whole
real cool.
alien thing. But yeah, she said that's kind of confusing. Like she said, she's waiting for Kenny Omega to approve her to use it, but I'm pretty sure he probably just wants her to break it out at the right time. But yeah, it's gonna be cool when I think it's gonna be cool when people actually find out because Chris Statlander is tall, so it's it's gonna look really cool when she does it. So yeah, that's
Yeah, be a good
you know
visual.
that'd be a good visual. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the news stuff. I think Charlotte talked. She did a Maria Menounos podcast. She answered the question if she feels that she's over pushed on TV,
Hmm.
and she said no, but she thinks people get frustrated because she's in every storyline, and
Yeah,
people don't realize that she's not a storyline not necessarily about her. It's just she's just in it to get people over. And she
yeah,
said people can't see past the fact that she's in it, opposed to the fact that she's not for the focus of the storyline. She said people just don't want to see her in the storyline, period, but she can't help it. So, which I think is
yeah.
kind of true,
It
honestly.
is to a certain extent, but then you have things like it's very transparent that they're trying to get her to beat her dad's title runs. It's very transparent. She shouldn't have beaten Oscar at WrestleMania and stuff like that. But I don't have a problem with her because, like, she's very, very talented. She's very good in the ring. She's got a real good look. She's very good on the mic. Um, I do believe they need to do, because I haven't seen the interview, but I believe she mentioned potentially having a family with Andrade.
Yeah,
Um,
she talked about that.
and with Becky Lynch obviously pregnant, and you don't know how long she's going to take off, because she's going to want to spend time with her child when it's born. If they were to lose Charlotte now, it's absolute, or not now, but like soon. I think it's absolutely imperative that the WWE builds some new stars. They need to, in my opinion, they need to they need to push they need to get Shayna Baszler to main event status straight away. I know she's a bit older, but she's, because of her gimmick, and she's legit. You can get her to that level quickest. Um, and then they need to make sure they cement Oscar as what she should have been already. They need to create some new stars with Bianca Belair. Like, I don't know what the hell they're playing at with Bianca since they brought her up. She's just been nowhere. Um, get her up, get her working some programs. I would really love to see a feud between Sasha and Bianca Belair. I think that would be hot fire. Um, let's not focus on Nia Jax so much. Let's focus on Oscar. Let's focus on Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair, and build the Iconics as a tag team. Keep doing that. You got Alexa Bliss, you got Nikki Cross, but you need to build some main event women outside of the Horsemen. Like, you need to get women. You need to get a couple of the other women at the same level as the Horsewomen. Um, Kyrie Zane. Kyrie Zane is one that they could do that with as well. Carmella, they could do that with. but they've got to commit to it. They've got to give them feuds. They've got to have more than one women's match each week, and not more than one women's match, but have more than just the title feuds on each show, and then the tag title feud on whichever show it's on at that time. Like, you can have an undercard female feud. It doesn't just have to be title feuds. That's it. Like, have multiple female storylines. Don't know what you think about that.
You want to know what I think?
No,
I think you're a goddamn liar. That's what I think. But let's get into these Backlash predictions, sir. Now, let's get into it.
So you'll be interested to know that
You're going live. You're going to be live and behind the plexiglass.
This show is not called Backlash anymore. It's called WWE Unneeded.
That joke was bad. I'm sorry.
The joke wasn't the name. The joke was that I told a lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sai has no future as a comedian. I'm just let y'all know that right now.
Well, we knew that already. Right. First up, Apollo Crews versus Andrade for the United States Championship.
But now that Bruce Pritchard's back in control, I think they about to switch that thing right back to Andrade. I honestly do. Now that Pritchard's running it.
I wonder. I wouldn't be surprised if they bloody added people to it and made it like a multi-person match. They've got to keep it on Apollo.
I think they should. I think that's what definitely should happen. But I don't know, man.
Like a good run for Apollo now, like till say we're in July. Keep it on him till Survivor Series. Like that could cement him for the next 10 years as a upper mid card, solid, maybe main eventer in the future guy. If they just flip flop it back straight away, then he's dead in the water.
Yeah, I mean they gave him new theme music and everything, so you know.
Well, let's fingers crossed that they do the right thing and keep it on him and give him a real prolonged run. Have him have him defend the title regularly. Don't do the open challenge because obviously Cody's doing that at the moment. But have him defend it every couple of weeks in 10, 12-minute matches against guys like Cesaro or this kind of ilk of guy who can put on bangers in 10 minutes, just balls to the wall, fast-paced, great wrestling. And I think that will do a lot for him winning matches, but having great matches doing it. Next up, Bayley Sasha versus Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and the Iconics.
Sasha and Bayley win, and then they defend against T and Shotzi on Wednesday on NXT, because that match is going to be a banger.
Yes, and then the following Monday, they'll defend against Asuka and Charlotte Flair.
Oh, for real?
No, that's what I think they will do.
Oh.
They teased it on Monday. And I got a feeling that they might do this played out gimmick of the feuding, like the heel and the babyface who are feuding.
Over the main champion, yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of my favorite storylines, I gotta be honest. I think Bayley Sasha's got to win. Got to win. Unless there's only one way you can have a different team win, and if it is going to be a different team, I would put it on the Iconics just because I find them incredibly entertaining. But the only way that they can have Sasha and Bayley drop it is if they're going to pull the trigger and start the feud. But I think it's too early myself. Asuka versus Nia Jax.
Oh, Asuka for sure. Because I think Asuka versus Charlotte is happening at SummerSlam.
Damn, better be.
I mean, like Asuka and Charlotte, they always have great matches. That's the crazy thing. They always have great matches. But yeah, I mean, we gonna see. I think they definitely gonna have Asuka defend against Charlotte at SummerSlam, and we gonna see what happens there. Because I mean, you can't call it. Charlotte could beat her. You never know. She beat her on Monday
Yeah.
again.
I can't even get into it, mate. At this present time, we're close. We're close. We're going towards the close. If I start discussing that in detail, we could be here all night. The one thing I will say is I want to ask your opinion on what Nia Jax did to Kairi Sane.
What are you talking about when she threw her head into the
Yeah, where she threw her into the steps.
She just gotta stop being reckless. Like it happens too much. People keep calling her out on it. And I mean, like that's at some point you gotta do like some type of self reflection thing as far as professionalism. And like you can't keep hurting people and then hopping on Twitter playing a character. Like
Yeah,
if you do it once, it's like, all right, it's whatever. It is what it is. But like this is like not the first time that this has happened. I remember she almost dropped Charlotte on her head a couple years back. Like
yeah, she
you,
did.
you can't keep doing that to people and like hopping on Twitter and try to play it off as an angle. I'm like, it's not a joke. You cut her open real like and at first when I first saw the story, I was like, probably just a little cut in her top of her head. She'd be all right. But when I saw the picture, I was like, God damn, like it's like a gash on the top of her head. I was like, Jesus Christ, like what the hell did you do? Like
Yeah, it's not good, was it? And then like, so avoidable as well. That's what.
you're not supposed to throw nobody head first to the step. Throw them back first. What you supposed to do?
Yeah,
Or shoulder first.
she was just a bit too close.
Now she just chucked her into it, like,
She,
and give her no time to brace.
she just didn't care. So she just really didn't take any care with her, and I think that's my kind of issue with it. I suppose is like when you're, as you know, mate. Like when if someone's putting their health or their safety in your hands, you've got to, you've got to take care of them, haven't you? Um, or do everything you can to protect them. That's your job, and I don't think she's doing that currently, unfortunately. But you know, if she had dropped Charlotte on her head, I'm sure she would have been. She's probably like the one person that The Rock's cousin could maybe have got told off for. Um, because do you think that's why she gets away with it so much? Like, she's hurt a few people. Do you think that's why? Is because of who she is related to?
No,
You don't think that's got anything to do with her?
no.
You just think that they like her?
I mean, they probably do like her, but I just think there's favoritism regarding certain people and injuries. Like some people get kind of treated as if like, they'll be all right, they get over it. But I think it's with certain people, like certain superstars, the precautions I take it more seriously is you can't do that. Like I'm pretty sure if a rookie went out there and dropped the Undertaker on his head, yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, I'm pretty sure if like the Undertaker went and got dropped on his head by a 22-year-old, 23-year-old, he got his ass chewed out and probably fired. So
Yeah, but look at
so
that. Like that's
yeah, that
nasty. That's
gash is
deep.
mean. Like that is mean. Like
That's deep, man, isn't it?
oh yeah, like her
Like,
she split her shit open for real. Jesus
oh
Christ,
yeah,
like, you can see like the
and all the
yellow starting.
all
Yeah,
the
oh
bruising
my
and
God, I
fucking
get that off the screen. Jesus Christ, it's a PG podcast, bro.
you just fuck it out. Get it off the screen, man. It's a PG show. But yeah, no, it's just crazy, and I just thought she's
I mean,
she's
it may have something to do like her being the Rock fan, but like that's just something like I don't know. Like you can't. It's impossible for anybody to know that.
yeah, it is. But I just when you look back at people who had a reputation for being reckless in the ring, it didn't take more than a couple of times of them, making a mistake or hurting someone that they were kind of pulled up on it. Um, right, here we go. The match I'm looking forward to the least on this card: Braun Strowman versus The Miz and John Morrison for the Universal title in a handicap match.
We get past this one quick. Braun Strowman wins, gets back into the feud with the Fiend, and that's gonna be that.
Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. What did you think of the way they did that last week with the
The
drink
drunk driving
driving?
thing. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. They do it too much. Like, bro, I don't think you should be making fun of nobody's sobriety. I don't think that's something to joke about at all. I don't think
So,
that's cool.
like for me, I wouldn't have a problem with using his addiction issues
They
if
did that already. They've done that so many
yeah,
times.
yeah, exactly that. And if the WWE was a company who could do it in a way where you could tell the story, but equally you could maybe try and educate people on addiction and also like maybe help people, and you could put a disclaimer up at the end of the show and say, these are characters. If you need help with any addiction issues, contact this number, blah blah blah. But WWE is incapable of telling real life stories in a way that isn't trashy, and that's why I've always just whenever they go down this route, it's it's a no from me.
I think Sheamus gonna win though.
Yeah, he's gonna give him a whooping. Um, bro, kick 1, 2, 3. Jeff, do you know what they'll do? They'll do a spoof of Jeff Hardy versus Sting. That's what they'll do, and then they will get rightly, absolutely trashed, and that'll be the end of the angle. I don't know why they need to do it. Why can't they tell a story which doesn't involve his like addiction issues or and that sort of stuff? Don't feel the need for it. Like he got arrested for a DUI this year
Last year.
or last year, sorry. Like, do you know what I mean? That's really recent, and like I've got a thing about DUIs anyway. I think it's such a selfish, reckless thing to do. I've got a real like I don't. In this day and age, it is very easy to get an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi. So do
Mm.
it. Don't be a dick and drive where you've had a drink.
Yeah, I agree.
Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley for the
I'm a,
WWE Championship.
I'm actually excited about this match. I want to see what they're gonna do. I think they're gonna beat the hell out of each other, but I think Drew McIntyre's gonna win. And then right after that, uh, who would be next for Drew for SummerSlam? I don't know. Maybe Rock comes back since Heyman's gonna be focusing on his own screen role. Maybe Rock is back by August. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who would be next for Drew. I don't really feel like nobody's like at that level yet. Maybe they um had Mister No Comment AJ Styles come over to come over to Raw for the as a part of the little wild card rule they got right now. Um,
I believe that Bobby Lashley is going to win with the help of Lana,
mm,
and they will do Brock versus Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam.
oh, all right,
And then I
all
think
right.
they'll
I
bring
take
Drew back into the picture Royal Rumble time.
and then give him his WrestleMania moment in LA. Well, Inglewood.
Hmm.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, okay. You know what? Well, I'm still going to steal your idea and tweet it out, but I'm gonna make sure I give you credit this time.
Good man. Well done. Um, and then finally we have Edge versus Randy Orton in the greatest match of all
Randy on RKO's him in 10 seconds. Good game. It's over. Greatest greatest match
time.
ever.
Greatest RKO of all time.
But I think Orton gonna win.
Um, yeah, I don't care. I really don't. I'd much rather see Edge work with someone else, um, and Randy Orton work with someone else. In all honesty, um, I just I don't know why they needed to run this back, and I certainly don't even know why they decided to run it back in this way. Um, like I get that the SEO ramifications of it are very, very clever because every time someone searches best wrestling match of all time, they're going to come to this at the top of the Google searches because it's WWE. But apart from that, it's just bullshit.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Bullshit. Um, I think Edge will win. because I think they might, and this is a big might, if Bobby doesn't win the title, then maybe we might get a dream match of Edge versus
Don't.
Drew. Dream matches. That's what the WWE is all about. Challenge accepted.
Hey, you wanna know what I'm dreaming about?
Stop giving me takes. So then it'll be the next pay-per-view. It'll be Edge versus Drew McIntyre, and then just as Edge is about to, it'll be like 1, 2, and then Otis's music will hit and he'll cash in.
Oh my goodness, dude! I swear I forgot he had Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think they'll take it off him. I do when at some point. I don't think he's gonna cash it in. I think someone will beat it off him. I don't know who. I'm not. I can't really think of like a heel which would be get the right heat from it. I don't think it'd be a good idea to do it with Baron Corbin, but I do believe that a heel will take it off him between now and wherever. Probably aligning with what's her name, Mandy, in the process, but I don't know who. As long as it's not Dolph or Baron Corbin, then I'll be alright with it. Maybe Tucker will screw him over and steal his woman.
And he back tonight, dude. This is his first match. His first match since April.
Okay. That's tonight's the night. He's going to steal the briefcase and steal his woman. You heard it here first. Yeah, it is what it is. Anything else you'd like to add? Oh, you know who's going to come back and challenge Drew Galloway McIntyre?
Who?
Rusev Muska.
This podcast is over. Nah, but I wouldn't mind seeing Rusev come back because he hasn't really said anything like at all. He hasn't done any podcasts. He hasn't said anything remotely bad about his situation. So it wouldn't be surprised if they would like just maybe he had a big contract and they couldn't hold it, so just told him wait. And Lana's still employed, so.
Was it you who I said that to? I said that I think that's what happened. Is that?
Nah, you ain't say that. You never said that.
I said
you wouldn't say that.
I said to someone that like he had a big contract and they basically just couldn't afford to pay him, and that what would happen is that you'd have like an angle where I say this every week. Bobby Lashley and MVP are kind of being mean to her and stuff, and maybe they're like she's like in the corner on the floor, and they're like stood over her being nasty, and then
no, hold on, wait.
Rusev's music will hit.
The last thing I'm gonna let you do is do some storyline where you got two black men cornering some white woman. That ain't no. read the room, bro. Okay. Read the room.
No, you know what I meant. Like I just meant like.
Nah, I know what you mean.
Just like the heels being Rusev makes the save. And you could argue that they've already kind of like laid the groundwork for it with the MVP coming in and causing more friction between Lana and Bobby.
Mm-hmm. This is like the best Bobby Lashley has been in the past 2 years. Like I feel like he was on a decent run when he had Leo Rush, but
yeah, well, they wasted that because Leo Rush is so good.
Bro, they should have won the tag titles. I swear they should have won the tag titles. Him and Bobby. It was easy opportunity right there. Easy.
Yeah, how many easy opportunities have the WWE missed out on though? At the end of the day, like, at what point does it become, like if you were a shareholder and you'd be asking like, what the fuck's going on?
But they don't care about the product. They care about the money. Yeah. And WWE makes a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money.
Maybe these ratings though might have an effect on that though long term, because I can't if these TV deals were up now, they ain't getting that same amount of money. No way.
I know Fox is being very patient as far as this empty arena.
Don't get me wrong. I get that. I get like why people would be patient and, you know.
No, I don't mean like that in like a supportive way. I mean like they probably irritable as hell. Like cause you invested so much, and then like you can't be mad at them because of the pandemic, but at the same time it's like all right now, like
come on, when's it gonna turn?
Yeah.
Next week will be better. Next week will be better. Next week will be better. And it's like, at what point does it become like a never-ending cycle of, oh, it'll change soon. It'll change soon.
Oh, but I told you earlier, like the ICW New York promotion. Guess what they doing? They doing a drive-in show. So they putting a ring in the field, and people,
I saw that.
yeah, people could drive in, like with their cars. They got to stay in the car, and they gonna have drinks. They gonna have like servers and stuff like that, bringing food around, and then you just gotta stay in your car. You gotta wear a mask. You gotta stay in your car. So I think that's cool as hell.
It's a fantastic idea, mate. Is an awesome idea. I will finish the show by saying this. Follow Andrew Thompson on Twitter at AD_Thompson__. Subscribe to youtube.com/Andrew Thompson interviews. Click the bell, get the notifications. This man writes the best wrestling updates at least 3 times a week, and they are superb. His interviews are top notch. Don't miss out. Subscribe to youtube.com/A.C.E Podcast Nation for all the best podcasts on all sorts of subjects. We've got some real top guests. We got
and more in the coming weeks.
Ex-Manchester United footballer coming on Monday for the football show. We've also got a few other things. We've got Oban Elliott coming on the MMA show on Sunday, which is live. And also check out Away Day Apparel at www.awaydayapparel.co.uk. If you use the code AA Podcast Nation, all in lowercase, you can get 10% off all your orders. And they've got some new product dropped tonight as we record this, which is Friday evening. And they have some real nice stuff, real nice t-shirts and stuff. Check them out because they're beautiful. And the last hot take I will give you for this evening is that Sonya Deville should be the next SmackDown Women's Champion.
I agree.
Bid you farewell. Thank you, my friend. It's been an absolute pleasure. And as usual, you have cheered me up when I've been having a not so great day. And I will always appreciate that.
You're a liar.